good. So I'm going to change one of these lights in a minute.
Yeah,
I'm Jim Peebles. Hi. Introduce yourselves. Let's go that way.
My name is Stephen Campbell. What else do I put in the intro? It's Stephen Campbell. That's it. That's all I got.
I like your style. I like you already. You're all about it. You're like, I got things. We got to go. What else should I do? Good.
I'm Riley Allville.
Joan, the comedy nurse.
Sure, that's what you go by? Oh, man.
Today we
I
are.
thought you were legal last
We
week.
got it today.
Are you currently a nurse still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Word.
That's cool.
Not everyone with dirty white shoes is a nurse, but I am.
Man.
I'm Joe Patrick Marshall, the comedy doctor. No, just kidding.
You had to put it in there. You had to throw it out there. You had to try it. Plug it.
Excellent.
Throw it out there. Hi. What's going on?
Not too much. So are we all strangers?
All strangers.
So-
Nobody
so-
knows each
This
other.
was
First
like
time.
an experiment.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want this
On,
to
like,
be
BuzzFeed
like
or
old
something.
people
So
versus young people.
We're in a back room.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
don't know.
which?
I don't think that's what we're
Yeah,
saying.
well,
And I'm
Which
like
side am
right
I
in
on?
the middle.
Yeah, I think I'm the old. I think I'm the old.
What did you say?
No, it's just an interesting situation. We're in a back room where we've never met anybody, and we're like going to record the interaction of what it looks like when strangers.
Absolutely. This is every day.
Sounds like the beginning of a true crime podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did it?
Little did he know that he would get very well acquainted.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the introduction. Where are you from?
Me, I'm from Los Angeles. I just moved here from D.C., but I've spent a little time in Ecuador. I lived in Holland, lived in Minnesota for a little bit. But yeah, just moved here from D.C. 4 months ago.
What state did you leave the body?
I'm leaving bodies everywhere I go. I'm sticking moves.
You don't have any warrants because you're
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
They show up and they're going to look at the podcast. We need to see episode 372.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put the episode
It's just,
up
it's very recorded. Yeah, 372.
Very good
there.
fun.
You like that?
Yeah, it was
Plug
really,
my own up.
really
You just
easy,
toss it. Like,
seamless.
had to see my... what was your... how'd you get in comedy?
I've just
How
been.
old are you?
I'm 21. Yeah.
Sigh of relief on my right side. What was that?
Oh god.
When he said old, he meant people with wisdom.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant.
Not that I was confused.
He said old early.
But he heard 21 and he's like, I'm
Kevin
safe.
was like, Kevin said, who are the old people?
Oh, come on.
I was like, what? Yo, I gotta put
Like,
you
I'm not
up.
even in this
This
episode.
is the most honest room in the city. You know?
This young man asked who was Dr. Ruth. So that really puts...
Who's Dr. Ruth?
That's a great question.
Hit me.
Who is Dr.
What year are you
Wow.
born? What year are you born?
89.
99, right?
80,
That's a-
89. Yeah.
But she's still alive, though. They should.
There's a lot of people that are alive that I don't know.
Dr. Ruth?
She was one of the early...
Very solid point.
Yeah,
Like,
early
Vague and solid.
media when people became media rather than big technicals. So she was an early live.
She was a
sort of
brand
sex-
person.
Was she an
gave
influencer?
sex- a big influencer in speaking about sex and sex education.
Okay.
Yes.
She was the first person to say vagina on TV.
Good
and
for
just
her. That needed to be done.
She
That
put
needed
the
to be
she put the
done.
groundwork
And
down.
I'm the first person
I'm
to
spitting
have
pussy
one.
jokes left and right around this city now, and all thanks to
That's
Dr.
awesome.
Ruth.
It's a really cool milestone.
Yeah, not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, only you're the first.
Wait, so what year were you allowed to say vagina on TV? Like, when was vagina okay to say on TV?
It was okay to say it, just not to have one.
Okay,
So that,
right.
that changed the law as you travel. You
Okay.
know, only married couples were allowed to buy condoms. So when birth control
Really?
becomes legal, Margaret Zanger,
What year did this not?
All right, Margaret Zanger was arrested for the same crime Lenny Bruce was. That's how little you could say the word vagina.
Wow.
Lenny Bruce and Margaret Zanger were arrested for a public lewdness, using that word.
So was it just out of sheer, like, vagina means we're talking about sex, we shouldn't be having lewd conversations? Or was it a straight, like, sexist thing that we're just not talking about? Could you say dick?
Guys could talk about their. I feel like guys could you could reference penises more than you could ever vaginas at all.
Well,
But, like,
it
it was
Because I'm
way
thinking
later.
Porky's. Porky's is the earliest I can think of that's like a lewd movie. Like just a...
Like early
Well, it's different from a film and then just like on TV.
I'm trying to think.
network.
I'm thinking
word,
of like
okay.
I Love Lucy specifically. Like they
Yeah.
like they didn't have the same bed.
The pussy episode.
They had to have feet on the floor. You had to see feet on the floor.
Yeah.
You're in
It
your
was-
pajamas,
there were
but you
rules.
sleep with your feet on the floor.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that.
and Lucille Ball was like actually like really crude and stuff, but she was so like taken back in her ability to actually say what she wanted to.
Yeah,
on the
TV,
show.
early TV, and late Hollywood movies all had censors, and one of the big ones in Hollywood was the Hayes administration, and that functioned up until way long past Disney, even those odd Disney characters that seem without any gender or now, of course, it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
How the turntables.
Speaking of the Disney thing, so have you guys?
No, you learn something. Learn something. Good.
Wait,
no,
but-
do it. No, do it.
There's all the secret penises and secret innuendos in the Disney stuff. Like, is that a real thing, or was that like actually out of the censorship that they were just like it was like a fuck you to the censorship?
Oh, I'm so glad to say I don't know.
Really?
Something you don't know.
I don't think it was a fuck you to the censors. I think
Okay.
it was playing it safe.
Okay.
It's...
How old are you, Joe? Can I say that? You
can.
can ask that?
Can
Can
you
I
say
ask
It
that?
is classified,
I feel like
but
Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm pretty sure he's younger than me.
No.
Yeah, he's
Me
white guy.
younger than
White
you?
guy, absolutely.
my next birthday
67.
Yeah, I know.
will be my 60th.
Shut the.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Well, I got him by 2 years.
Well,
so what?
Yeah, I had it at 3.
See, she's like,
Okay.
well.
I
How
had
about
it
that?
at
You got 3? You got 3? You
I said I would have said you were like
3 years old?
56 or
Really?
No,
I was thinking
no,
late 30s.
Yeah, solely on the
Joe?
late 30s train.
No. Down,
Right?
down.
Yeah, we're at saying late 30s.
Late 30s.
I was thinking late 30s.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just turned 30 less than a month ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Adorable, yeah. I'm the cutest. I'm the
I'm
cutest.
not like a fetus.
Yeah,
Like,
you are. You are. We're like,
It's like
what
it's
is
to
this?
the point where it's like gross.
Is this
Wait,
supposed
so
to be in the
it's
barn
like-
right now? What is happening?
Yeah, I got carded on the
She's
way.
like, I know.
I got carded too, though, but I just shaved. That was probably
Yeah,
it.
same.
I didn't get
I got carded. They know I'm here. And they call
It's your height, though. It's your height. Because they can't see you under the
Oh.
bar. They see the hair going by. It was like, who's
You
this
just
child?
slap it on there.
Even with the beard.
I got carded. I think she just wanted to see if the card popped up.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was like, do we even
Just
make this
wanted to
material
see.
anymore?
Right.
Like, what's this?
she wanted to see if
It's made out of
This is like
papyrus.
Yeah. Right. Oof. Papyrus.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it was his
Papyrus.
story.
No.
No, it's mine.
That's fine.
I'm not-
You
Not much of a snorter.
I'm the first woman to snort on a podcast
No.
ever. Thank you.
Yeah.
you watch it first.
I want to get a tattoo
If
today.
I can't be the first to say vagina.
Let's
I'll be
get
the first
into it.
snorter.
I brought you here because we had an issue because we talked about something yesterday.
We had
Oh,
an issue?
shit.
We had an issue?
Yeah.
Oh.
Issues.
Yeah. What? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
The guy's not even here.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but it's
Well,
like,
yeah.
yeah, he's not here.
It's fine. Fuck
So
that
I
guy.
win?
No.
Cool. So we were talking about the Lucy Kay thing. So, which was this. I don't
Wait,
know,
was it after the mic or before the mic?
before the mic.
Okay.
Yeah. It's through the podcast.
Yeah. It was during the podcast, and this guy, Haim. That's a band.
L'chaim.
Okay,
It's
L'chaim.
Jewish. Yeah.
That's his name.
It's Jewish. Super Jewish.
Yeah,
Shut up,
well,
that's his
what
real
it said.
name?
That's what they.
No, that's what I was like.
L'chaim Samuels.
Whoa.
Super Jewish.
Oh, wow.
L'chaim is what they make Jews from.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
it's also
Very
a letter
crazy.
of
Like, congratulations.
Jewish alphabet.
What
which
letter
means-
is it?
L'chaim.
She says she knows.
It's-
She likes putting her down. She was like, I fucking know this.
You want it to mean dickhead. It means hell.
Does it mean so?
Oh, to hell.
Yes.
So is it like a cheers, right?
Hell,
Like
hell.
you would
Yes,
say.
L'chaim.
Ah, that makes sense.
I said I'm not very religious, but I do send God a quiche once a month.
What?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What is that? I can't think of a euphemism for it.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep you.
I like it. I like
awake.
it. I like it too much. I like it a lot.
These are remember nothing. Never mind.
Where you going? What's up, man?
What was the
Say
issue?
it.
Okay, so
Are
L'chaim.
you stoned or am I?
Louis was on Skankfest and
Yeah.
and she was like, no, he should go away forever.
No. I did not say he should go away forever. That
I'm
was
not
not
putting
what
those
I
words in your mouth. You
No,
said
don't-
Louis
don't
should be
do that.
murdered and his pinky toes should
Well,
be
that's
cut
what I
off.
said.
Yeah.
And,
Holy shit.
and he should be hung by the little bone that
Right.
hangs off your ankle nut. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going with it.
Your ankle knuckle.
Your ankle nut.
Ankle knuckle.
Yeah, you should be hung by the ankle
But
nut.
then if he can
Sounds like a
survive
sex
all
movie.
that, we let him back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
they
let him
do a
back
comeback
if he
after
survives all of
But
that.
my question was, at what point does he get to come back?
Well, I think he can come back at any point if he recognizes and
Because you said
To talk about what he did
you-
in like a-
when we mentioned Louis, you said I forgot what you said.
What did
Your
I say?
exact words. You were like,
Recorded it.
he's terrible. Something like that. Something to
No,
that
I was
effect.
like, oh, he sucks or something.
He sucks. You said he sucks. And then-
Yeah. He kind of does suck. Like, I don't know. If you do,
I mean,
if you
as a
do
human
that-
being,
Yeah, as a
yeah.
human being, not as a comedian at
Okay.
all.
Well, I
I
think
think
as a comedian. Like, as a
No,
comedian,
I was
yeah.
saying like 2017 is like one of the best like stand-up specials, like written stand-up specials I've ever like witnessed, and I think it's really, really great. I loved it. I've always loved Louis. Like Louis the show. I don't know. It's very influential. I like really like that style of comedy. But then as soon as he started to do that type of stuff, as someone who does not tolerate that type of behavior from people or anyone treating me like that or wanting people to treat others like that, then
If I'm not
can't do that.
correct, the incident happened years ago, right?
So
It happened.
good.
It happened
Super-
continuously for a while.
For a while.
But the
Okay,
thing
so
was,
over and over again.
Yeah, it
so
was
I've been
not
up till
one
recent-
So
time.
I've been
It
doing.
wasn't just one time. He did it multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So I've been doing comedy for a little over 5.5 years, and 2 years in, I knew that was happening from as a comic in DC.
Okay.
So every venue that was booking him knew it was happening. All the big name comics knew that it was happening,
And every booker in New York knew about
and
it.
every
too.
booker in New
Yeah,
York
that's
knew it
the
was
thing.
happening.
Okay.
So then
That's
it
how I
came
heard- I heard
out,
from
and then it was
Buffalo
like
Bill.
finally he's getting like some repercussion for like all these actions that he's done, and then everyone's like, oh, we shouldn't get out of comedy for a while. And it's like, you know what? Like he did a really shitty thing. He's a public person who shouldn't be. I mean, maybe not shouldn't be doing that, but like as a role model, I don't know. It's like someone.
So
just,
what should he be doing, in
At
my
least
best
apologize.
judgment,
At
is
very
that he
least.
should
Yeah, and
brutally...
at least an apology. He's just
Yeah.
beating around the
Yeah.
bush and
He
not
should-
talking about it, which is rude. And just like you'd rather start a dialogue about it than just like
That would
not.
be the right thing to
With
do,
all
that
to
talent, he can
brutally
make a joke about it.
attack
Yeah,
on
and
the
if he was
conversation
smart, I mean,
of,
So
if he was like a
yeah.
I don't know.
Hold on. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Joe.
I think I'm not a tremendous fan. I'm not. But I am a tremendous fan of reparations. And I'm a tremendous fan of using the opportunity right now in history he had a chance.
Right.
And he's fucking just closing the window on women and what he has learned and what he can teach. And that's where I feel like he's best.
How is he going to pay reparations?
I meant
Well,
in...
like
I
what
meant...
research
I
is
didn't
there.
say it. I
Yeah.
didn't say it. I
Yeah.
didn't say it. I was
Oh,
like, reparations. I was like, that's a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, reparations.
Well,
No, Louis C.K. should be responsible.
Repercussions. There you
That's it,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Repercussions.
It makes it,
Do you think? All right, so I have a theory that if Louis came out in front of this, and like, because I heard about it in I don't know 2015, I think was the first time I heard about it.
Yeah.
If he came out in front of it and just admitted everything and said what he did on like a late night show, no one would have cared.
Well, a late night
He
show
got-
wouldn't
he
be the
got lumped
appropriate
in-
venue
He got lumped in
for
a week
that.
after Weinstein, who was literally raping people, and all this other stuff. Cosby was going to jail at the time. All this, it was like every other week there was someone doing.
So
that.
you think it was
Let's get him.
the
Well,
time period that he
that
got
doesn't
in trouble?
What
invalidate
he did was
anything,
bad, but
though.
it got magnified by being clumped together with.
It doesn't invalidate it because all these people were suddenly
But that's why
being
we care.
caught.
Most people.
He did
But I don't-
apologize, right?
But that was like he filled in a template of a fucking.
Yeah.
I am sorry.
Yeah, he said he was sorry he got
Yeah, yeah.
caught.
People
Right.
would have been making fun of him
So-
on late night if he,
so,
if
but
he
I think-
isolated it and did it
But
before
even if he would have done it at the same time, if he would have shown any remorse, because the dude
Oh,
just
yeah.
because like the shit with disease for instance, the shit with disease first off should not be
Well, that-
in the
yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
But
That website got
he-
shut down,
But
too.
he was like, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna pay my penance,
Yeah.
be quiet for a while. Louis was he just popped back up, and he,
Yeah, his apology sucked.
that being said,
Yeah.
I have a friend that's been performing with him, and he said that he's got a new 1520 on. This is what happened.
I'm sure he
Well,
does.
that's-
I don't know. I don't know.
But
It's-
what- it's-
but you don't know.
He probably should have quieted down and not like I don't know, maybe not just like brushed it aside and then like I get that it takes time to write things, but at the same time,
What is so not brushed aside is the fucking president of the United States only raping women who are his
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I want to say about what
Trying to keep
Louis...
Trump off of this
I'm gonna
podcast.
start crying.
Sure.
Being that
Let's
Joe,
stick to the
no,
topic.
don't do
No,
it.
Joan.
You brought it.
Please
Joe.
keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
go.
she brings a
Yeah,
good point
absolutely.
No, I'm gonna start
But-
crying. I love this. Please go.
But that's
Yeah.
why everybody's getting hit as hard as they're getting hit because they can't.
Who's
hit
getting
because-
hit hard are women and women performers.
Sure.
And that's who's getting hard. And what is the issue beyond and beneath the issue is the issue is what can guys do right now looking at a president of the United States that has yet to find the woman that he is attracted to that he could rape. And so we are in a culture, how many years later from that, what we call the incident started? I mean, we're talking about women really, it's going to be big to get women and to the misogyny against women that is so, that we think it was just one thing that Louis C.K. did.
It's so ingrained. And it just, like, it's awful to have to, like, see who's running the country and be like, oh, like,
I didn't rape her, she's not my type.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? The person who raped me said the same thing.
Right.
And that sucked. So, like, seeing that, sorry it makes me uncomfortable, but you have to talk about it, or what? I'm not going to talk about it? No, I mean, just, like, that type of stuff, and it's just so incredibly rude and dismissive, and, like, as I'm going into the workforce and trying to actually, like, make my life and see what I can do with myself, it just was, like, very discouraging to see that, like, those people are succeeding still, despite, like, even public backlash.
So what if I asked, if it's a hate crime in the subway, is it comedy in a club? Things that where you would see shit going down, that you would feel, I really maybe better intervene here. Something could be happening here. But we see enormous misogyny in clubs. And we just, if we saw it in the subway, we'd say hate crime to ourselves, and we would feel obligated to intervene and do something. But we see it in a club, it's comedy.
Do you feel that there has not been a decline in that sort of behavior since the Me Too movement?
I'll tell you, there is such an... the people's people here is going to have to explain to me, because I'm looking at so many comics now, and I think that's something huge that has happened in the last 2 or 3 years. There's like 75,000 of us, you guys actually, any evening in New York.
Yeah.
Is that a real number?
Yeah.
I think it's higher.
That's crazy.
It's actually higher than that.
That's fucking crazy.
I'm performing.
It's really stressful.
These guys in caves talk about, I don't ever want to go into clubs. It's like different levels.
Sure.
There's thousands on different levels. So,
Sure.
You know, and what was the question?
Well, the question was for another day.
No.
Well, no, I mean,
No,
the question is the behavior.
If it is a
I'm not
hate
gonna
crime,
remember. If I could remember
I'm
2
never
minutes
going to
ago,
forget it. Stick with me, baby.
another day.
It's my whole deal. If it's a hate crime on the subway, when you get it into the club with a light and a mic, is it a joke?
If it's funny, rule number one. If it's funny. If because it's in a club, it's kind of it's free reign.
It's like how a video game is violent, but it's not the thing you're doing.
Yeah, it's not
a simulation.
Yeah.
So if you walk someone through an awful thing that's theoretical and point out what's funny about it.
Right, like, I mean, Stephen King writes books about murder, but do we need to crack down on him? Because
My
murder is
same
happening?
point is if it's misogyny or abusive or a hate crime, and it's
whatever
on the subway.
Whatever you're saying, even if you're saying the N-word, there's a group of people who want to hear it. All right, you may not be in that group, but there are people who want to,
and not in the right context.
In the right context,
like David Cross had
every single one of us.
I remember that.
Every single one of us, no matter what we're talking about, we have a fan base. All right, so if you find it, if you're talking to it, you just at that moment might not be talking to your fan base, but you can say whatever you want.
So long as you use it correctly, comedically, and not in the form of hatred or anger.
You should. And where the problem comes in is the guys who don't know how to use it.
Dude, angrily,
Yeah.
hit Apollo. You're like, Jesus Christ.
But at the same time, there was that Sarah Silverman thing where she used a slur against Chinese, like the Chinese, and then it wasn't intentionally. It wasn't said to spew hatred at all. She was just trying to say. She was trying to make a way to say some sort of slur without saying a Jewish slur because it wouldn't be effective because she was Jewish or something like that. Like
she said that that was a Mel Brooks. The Mel Brooks discussion on, are there some subjects you cannot make jokes of? And Mel Brooks said, I'll make fun of Hitler, I will not make fun of the Holocaust. Sarah Silverman said, oh, I have a Holocaust joke. And she told this absolutely terrific joke.
I mean,
the joke is that Sarah Silverman told that you can't say about a Holocaust. What did the Jews hate the most about the Holocaust? And the answer Sarah Silverman said was the cost. It's a fucking funny joke.
That's funny.
That's good.
It's not talking. I'm just saying, can you write a joke
I probably couldn't say that,
Sure.
but she could
But
say it.
but
Yeah.
using
context.
using
I
that
can
exact
get away with it.
example
If I said the same joke, it'd be
on
like,
the subway.
Yeah, but then Jimmy, you could probably write jokes about being black. And
I mean,
stuff
I
that
always-
she could
I-
never do.
That's
But you
fair.
should be able to write
That's
jokes,
your fam.
you know what
That's
I mean?
where you come. What
Right,
you can,
right.
There's a certain level of forgiveness
You know?
you're given being a
Yeah.
perspective.
And I think the times
'Cause it is your
change too.
perspective.
Like,
Yeah.
how many open mics can you go to and not hear a 9/11 joke? But that's for some reason we're okay with doing that. Maybe in 10 years people crack down on it, and then
I think
anyone who told a 9/11 joke is in trouble. You know?
I think other way around. When it comes to atrocities like the Holocaust, there's a mathematical equation of how bad the atrocity was to how much time has passed, which is like comedy in general.
And for someone in general.
Hey,
who's
Louis,
there.
watch your mouth.
Right, for sure.
Louis,
I was on the in New York during 9/11, so I can't. I don't like doing
Sure.
jokes on 9/11.
Sure.
It's like,
Right.
it fucks me up.
Yeah.
I think the thing about talking about where we're on what is controversial is what is the issue beyond it? What's the shadow it casted? We're not saying that the Holocaust is funny, but look at the shadow that it cast. And that's where I teach contemporary satire. I write satire. So you want some kind of kernel of truth, but
Sure.
then you want to dig down into the shadow it cast. And there I say you're safe to make jokes.
So what is
We're
the
not saying rape is funny, but if you say Melania's press secretary just issued a list of the kind of women he does want to rape, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
talking not rape, but
It
you're
adds a
talking the
perspective to
relationship
it,
and the
yeah.
bullshit of the thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a very good point.
Joe, what you got?
So,
I mean, with
No.
talking about 9/11, you know, I mean, I was there, and I can say that being there that day added 0.5 seconds to my 40-yard dash. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there is an upside to some of these things.
Yeah, but do you like talking about 9/11? Do you like joking about it?
I think that it's fair game if it's funny and if it's like,
If it's funny as a rule.
you know, that's
Yeah.
It's
that's
comedy.
it. I mean,
What are you doing
you know,
It's also how different people deal with shit, right?
course.
Because like
That's
where I
fair.
grew
Of
up,
course.
heroin destroyed the city that I'm from. When I hear people talk about heroin addiction and stuff like that, and it's not well crafted, I'm just like, yo, learn what you're talking about before you talk. That being said, that's how I deal with it, is by joking about it, right? And so I think it's something that if you have some sort of, I don't think there's ever a time that I can joke about rape, right? Because I have never experienced anything like that, and I can never empathize with the point of view that somebody that has gone through it has seen, right? But so I think I don't know. I think that if you have no perspective of the thing that you're joking about, then I think that it becomes a lot harder for you to joke about it.
Right.
Right. Like I.
It's all very objective, so it's so hard to like tack
It
anything
is.
There's also
down.
angles. Any topic has
yeah.
infinity of
For
angles. So if
sure.
you're telling 9/11
For
jokes,
sure.
Yeah,
it
there's
might
no
not,
rules
it might
about
be a 9/11
anything.
joke, but it might be really a
Your
joke
perspective.
about flying or airlines.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
You know?
Sure.
And
You
that's
know.
really what your joke is. Like, do you think someone was in the bathroom and then they came out and everything changed and they thought it was a prank? I don't know. It's not
Right.
I think it's important also to realize, yeah, the rules is if it's funny, but most jokes in general people make aren't going to be funny. So if someone makes a bad joke about an icky topic, you shouldn't get mad at them. You should just realize it's a bad joke also.
Right.
You
No,
just
that's
said,
a really big problem
You
with
just
like,
said icky in a sentence. Just
I know.
Yeah.
point that out.
You should
I know.
type that down.
Icky.
Write that down.
Icky.
Yeah.
Icky. Icky. How do you spell that?
ICKY.
ICKY.
I just wanted to hear him say it. All right.
There's
Well,
a
that's
way.
Webster,
There's
that's
a way to do it. There's a way to do it that
I don't
is,
have to. I'm terrible.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
where it's, you know, if it's funny and you make it funny,
Keyword.
there's a way to get into
Yep.
it, get underneath it all, and bring it out
Yep.
for sure.
Can I?
It's really what's funny to you about the ramifications that it caused. It's not necessarily what is the subject and what's the material you have to control around it. You got to attack the airspace that you tell a joke like that in. The audience has to know you love them and respect them.
Yeah.
It's not walking into, like I said, it on the subway. Is this a hate crime? You get it into you get it into a club, and right away you have a much more of a responsibility to
Sure.
nail the landing, present the airspace around it. There's
I,
a lot to crafting a joke. That's
when I was-
controversial.
Would you apologize for a joke?
If I saw how it affected somebody
I
else,
would.
Yeah.
Would
I,
you?
I think offended someone on accident.
Yeah.
No, I would never apologize.
Never.
But first, never
I would,
apologize.
yeah, if anything, I would just.
And not that, and that's that.
I
I'm
would
trying to
give new information.
retrain the new comment. Never
You can
apologize.
say sorry.
right?
They feel
But
that way.
Also,
Yeah, that's what
I think
yeah.
also
Yeah.
rule is don't say anything you feel like you're gonna need to apologize for. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would apologize for offending someone or making them feel uncomfortable, but then I'd be like, but what I, or if I like,
I don't even agree with
But
that.
also-
But there's
Because
also
then you don't do risky jokes.
well,
You
but
know?
it's not
I
necessarily
mean,
that.
I don't want to make
It's-
people feel uncomfortable though. in
you-
my
it's
presence.
not
That's what
necessarily-
your job is.
That-
Your job is to. Is
But sometimes you don't understand the perspective that somebody else is looking at it
Yeah,
from.
that's
So
fair.
when somebody comes and says, "This is my perspective and this is why this,"
What do
I'm
you
like,
mean by apologize?
You know, I think there's room to fuck up and.
because yeah, like
Say that.
apologize.
What do you
Apologize.
not
I'm never
say?
going to say it again. No.
No.
Apologize. I didn't realize how that was going to
Just
affect
not
you.
apologize. I'm
Then
not-
I can.
But
I,
you're-
you're
Or not even-
It's something you're ignorant about, and someone's like, "Hey, I get
Right.
what you're going with, but
Exactly.
here's something you didn't know."
Yeah.
right.
I don't know that I would apologize. I might stop telling it.
Yeah, I
because
wouldn't
now I know more, so it
apologize.
really
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah,
I think
that's
there's
what
like a
I'm talking about.
responsibility that needs to be taken on
Yeah,
your half to be like,
yeah.
oh yeah, okay, I totally could have been wrong,
Like,
my
maybe
bad,
pull
your-
and not an apology.
Your responsibility as
Yeah.
a comic
I see you in
is
the back. Do it.
Yeah, it's our job to be 100% pure honest.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
our problem. We're editing. We're trying to be funny. We're trying to figure it out. We're in their head. But when we're 100% honest and we're willing to fuck up over and over and over, whether it's saying a Jewish joke, whether it's using the N-word inappropriately, whether it's offending the gay community, we'll learn whatever. We edit ourselves all the time. People pay to laugh at our. They want to see the truth. Now, I'm not talking about be true and like keep it real, rah, rah, rah. It takes time to mold that. We go through life editing ourselves.
Being
Look
true-
at
true
them,
to
they're
yourself.
honest.
But I think
We
that
have to
if
be
you
honest.
but if you fuck up, it's okay to say sorry.
No, it's not really a fuck up.
You know,
If
but,
fuck
but
up-
you just said like if you're gonna
There's
mess
a
up
difference
again,
between
again,
saying
and
I was
again.
wrong and I apologize.
but you're not going
Yeah.
to do something that's
I-
unfunny.
I may have been
repeatedly.
wrong, but I'm not taking it back. That's
And
what
not
I
this
felt
is
like
a
saying.
race, to be
Also,
Right
is this
now.
like on stage or like in a conversation? Too?
On stage.
Like,
Oh,
okay.
never
Okay.
on
Okay.
stage.
Okay.
Never on
Okay.
stage.
No,
Never,
not
never
on
on
stage.
stage.
Oh,
We can
not
talk.
on
We can
stage.
we can
Yeah.
talk
Look
afterwards.
at
I thought you were just talking about
Louis
something.
C.K.'s joke on race. He says, I'm white, and I know. He said, woo. He said, it's very painful, but it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's race joke. I love it, but I fucking hate it. It's so honest, though. He said, woo, the white man, we're so wrong, I'm glad I'm white. I know I'll pay for it later on, but I'm enjoying it while I'm here.
Yeah, right.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's honestly brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just
very
honest.
painful,
It's
but it's
sad.
brilliant. It hurts, but it's brilliant. He hurt them. He offended me, but he didn't offend me. If that makes sense.
Are you a comic or are you
I am.
his dad? He has a look like dad. Sit down. He has the dad.
A comic's punishment is not getting the laughs. If people are laughing, the joke's not fucked up.
Absolutely. Yeah,
If no one's
That's the
laughing,
payoff.
your
You're absolutely
punishment is the silence.
absolutely right.
Well, so I'm going to ask the question that I asked when we started, because this has been a lot of talk around it. If it's a hate crime on the subway, and you hear somebody
What's a
talking,
hate crime?
you hear
Yeah.
somebody that is not just offending, but is aggressive and trespassing on another person. If you hear that same kind of talk in a club with a light and a mic, now it's a joke.
If
So
he gets a laugh.
Wait, is the person
Now, it
making a
depends
joke
on
on the
how they
subway
get
or
what
what?
if he gets a
Yeah,
laugh
like
on
I'm
the
doing
subway?
now.
I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of
different.
room
It's different.
there.
Somebody's just
There are-
stage
there
time
are-
is stage
there
time,
are,
dog.
There are filters, there are checks. There are bookers. There are people who are check systems for these guys. They know these guys are crazy. They know these guys are hateful. They don't book them. There's a filter system for everything in every club and every place. So there's a certain level of professionalism and comedic ability that you have to have for a certain venue. There's at least that much. You're not just spewing hate from the top of your voice on somebody's street corner. You are at the very least, someone has to be like, all right, there's some comedic ability there. You can at least transform that into art for a person. Whether or not you like it is up to the recipient, but you can at least do that much. That's what the point of the booker is in the first place. They are the filter. As much as we hate them, that filter is important.
Sure.
I did a paid gig as a predominantly Jewish crowd. They wanted to see my set first, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So I said one of my jokes that I usually do well for the younger crowd mainly. I said, whenever I see the neo-Nazis marching, I go into a panic attack because when they say Jews will not replace us, I always think, well, am I going to work for them? Right? The lady stopped me and she said, don't use that joke here.
It's a great
I said,
joke.
why?
funny.
She said, because in this climate with Jews being attacked and the audience is predominantly Jewish, it could come across, we don't want to hear that here. And I was hurt at first, but then I looked at it in terms of a DJ.
We're
They
yours.
say don't play as a DJ. We don't want to hear the N word in our songs. Like I say, oh, I'm a DJ. I'm getting paid to do that, so I can play without using the N word.
Yeah, if it's a corporate gig, it's a corporate gig.
Yeah, that's
Everybody's
what
chicken
artists
money.
go
I'm
with.
gonna say yes, whatever. I don't care.
I think that that's a super good joke. And one of the reasons I think it is because it's not talking, I'm sorry, it's not talking about Jews, it's talking about what it is to have to work for a living and have to be from the side and the perspective of a person who has to work. And so you're not talking about Jews, you're talking about what it is to have to clean houses. And from that perspective, I think it's a very cool way to approach it.
Ruth.
Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth.
Joan approved. I don't know. It's hard for that to be in that situation and do well.
Yeah.
I got booed off stage at a homeless shelter once.
Why?
I wasn't allowed to cuss. I wasn't allowed. Yeah, eat it. No, I wasn't allowed to cuss. So it was like some Christian organization. Right, I know. So hear me out. So there's this Christian organization that put it on together. They asked me. They saw me do a set, and they're like, "We'd love for you to do this thing at this fundraising thing." First off, I went after a guy that was playing the oboe for 15 minutes, and then me. And so. And so I asked before, I'm like, are there any content restrictions? And they're like, yeah, just don't talk about drug addiction. A lot of these guys have dealt with drug addiction. I was like, word, I can do that. And I said fuck about 5 seconds in.
As soon as they give you ultimatums and rules, that's the checklist. Of
I mean, mine's just like I'm doing a charity thing. Like in my head, I'm like volunteering my time and I'm helping. So
you're not getting paid at all.
I said within because I think something I said. That food was good as shit, fuck, or something.
Oh, you said fuck.
I said fuck or shit, whatever it was. But you would have thought it was like Pee-wee's Playhouse, and I had just said the secret word. Yeah. Everybody just went, ah, like literally flailing their arms. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And I just kept, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And so it perpetuated, and I just kept on it, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing right now? What the fuck? What the fuck? And so it just kept, and dude, it was, I've never seen it. The whole crowd is screaming, flailing. And I'm like, what is happening? Please tell me what is happening. And so everybody's quiet, and they're like, it's a Christian organization. You're not allowed to use any cuss words. I'm like, no one's going to tell me that. No one's going to tell me that before I get on this stage. Okay. All right. Here I go. And so, like, I'm trying to, like, tiptoe, and, like, within a minute I said ass, and that was also a cuss word. Fucking everybody went just as crazy. And so as soon as they come over ass. And so as soon as it calms down, this guy stands up. He's the Reverend, and he's like, "I'm gonna need you to get off the stage right now."
Wow.
And I was like, and he's the dude that's running it, and I was just like, "All right,
He's the dude.
thank you for."
My God.
No, it was a fucking volunteer. Not only that, I'm getting my MBA. I have a final due that night, and I'm taking time out that the final's supposed to be getting taken to fucking volunteer.
Did you curse in the set that they got you from?
100%. There's no way that I did it. Yeah, 100%.
Was the audience homeless? Was it a bunch of...
It was like 90% homeless. The rest were the 10% that like either worked or volunteered with the group or someone.
Were all the homeless people Christian?
No, well, they were just there to eat. It was like a Christmas thing.
Okay. Christian shelter.
Yeah, right.
Just like very confused.
We only help.
Be gone with you.
Everyone else.
No.
Convert or be gone. Yeah, right. Do the sign of the cross. Never mind. Get the fuck out of here.
No, stay in the street.
I have a homeless shelter joke that I did in the shelter.
Yeah, how'd it work?
It's in the Bible. You'll help us.
Yeah, right.
Like John 15
Here's my joke for the shelter that I did in the shelter.
Do it.
The homeless joke in the shelter is that President Trump thinks that a tax shelter is homeless housing.
A tax shelter?
Tax shelter.
Tax shelter. Just a regular shelter.
Fucking children. You gotta tell that to Joe.
TAC, is that an acronym?
No, I'm so sorry. It's tax, like tax. Like.
Oh, got it.
Wait, you didn't even. Okay.
A tax shelter is where you can hide a lot of corporate money.
Got it.
So
I totally
that
know
tax
that. Yes.
People never get at it.
Guys, I got it.
They got summer camps.
I'm
now.
thinking of what the acronym would be.
You know what I did do? I was trying to change the URL on my YouTube, and I was trying to find people who have, because what YouTube does, and I'm changing something. What YouTube does is you can't have just your name on it, so you have that. It has to be either user or C like youtube.com
Yeah.
/ your name. And
Even when it's on your website?
it's ugly. It's fucking ugly.
Oh, okay.
It's and that's the URL.
Well,
I was
fuck
trying
the
to change
SEO.
your name and trying to get to the point. But I was trying to see and because if you had it before a certain time, you can have your whole name. And I was trying to see who had the name. So I put Donald Trump in, which led me to his YouTube channel,
Great.
which is an insane place to be. That's what I started watching, and it was like the sound on his YouTube videos is just like it's just brainwashed. I felt like I was being brainwashed.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like
I believe it.
it
Have you
was,
seen their
it was so well done, but I was
Yeah.
like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never been there before.
they've
It's like
got
a
some-
room that I opened. I was like, what the fuck is going
Trump's
on here?
YouTube channel?
Like that,
Yo.
though.
They've got some.
YouTube channel?
Trump's channel. Like his channel is bananas.
Half the time his Twitter, I like get sent it, and I'm like, let's go.
I was
You
almost
guys did a
in.
great
I was
job
like, I
today.
think I might vote for this guy. This looks great.
Yeah.
Is this America?
I was like, do I hate Mexicans now?
Man, it was like different. I was like, they don't even make this color scheme in the real world. It was like,
Right.
it was so good. I
I
was
gotta
like,
check it out.
It was crazy.
Yeah, check it out.
Crazy.
I
Shout
need
out
to
to
live a day
Donald
in his
Trump
shoes.
and
Yeah,
his
I
YouTube
know.
channel.
I'm mad. Is
he on acid all the time?
He's
Probably.
all the time.
I love
You can
it.
hear his voice. I was like,
Those were the pretty ponies. going
if he wasn't doing the shit
Oh
that
my
he was
God.
doing and just stayed the course, it's
He's got a
bananas.
good propaganda
He was
dude.
my grandpa. He'd
He's a
be
showman.
foreign.
Yeah.
He's a showman.
You gotta give props where props are due. He is a good showman.
He's an amazing, like P.T. Barnum level,
Yeah.
insane.
I mean,
It's insane.
he's not that good at it.
He's
Like, I
fucking
feel like
good.
he's like.
Besides being
ignorance
president,
is
besides all the
bliss.
He just
bullshit,
doesn't care.
just
You're
putting on
right,
the
you're right.
show
I just think like
and
watching.
doing the hey look at my hands thing.
That's fair.
It's something to
I
watch.
watched his rallies though, and I'm like, this just seems so unorganized. Like that's I just like am like,
But
that's not
that's the
successful.
plan. Everything's
Yeah.
planned.
No, you're right. You're right. And I'm definitely just like,
There
oh, this is so weird.
there was a camera. Shut the fuck up, Jason. Did I say Jason?
He said Jason.
You're thinking of Jason David.
Jason David. I am thinking of Jason David. I was like, your name is Jason David.
Similar beard structure.
David. No,
Beard structure.
There's a drone shot, right? Where it's like a weird Waldo of the red hats, and they have red hats just moving around, but it was organized. It was well done. With this one kid just skipping along, and another person's just like flipping down steps. It was like they planned that shit, you know. And it's crazy. You got.
I went to the inauguration. The inauguration
Which
was
one?
nuts.
Of Trump?
Trump's,
like the
yeah.
first one?
You
wait,
gotta
yeah,
check
the
him for
first
like a
one,
chip or
obviously.
something.
No. Joe, it was great. First off, it starts raining during the thing. Afterwards, he was like, "Nah, it's
Late.
not."
Is it like, oh man, we're way over. Nobody's gonna like me. Oh, finish your thought. Let me close
No,
it.
it's so not an important thought.
Good job.
It was just the
It
inauguration.
It has to do with the president. Of course, it's
know.
not
Yeah,
important.
right. It's wasted
Burn.
breath.
Was an
Yeah.
eyewitness.
I did want to
Yeah,
talk
you must have
about
had a lot of
the,
room to spread out.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, well, thank you guys for hanging out. This is fun. Tell them where they can find you.
My name's Stephen Campbell. I don't know, U Street Comedy. Got shows that I run in Brooklyn, and
You're a Brooklyn comic?
I'm a Brooklyn. I guess I've only been here for 4 months. I can't say I'm a Brooklyn comic. I don't know. I've got a handful of music festivals that I'm performing at.
Instagram?
Soup Nasty Steven.
Nobody's going to find that.
Yeah,
Pinterest?
yeah. Pinterest? No,
Yeah,
we'll do
I
that.
hit you with the pictures. That was the left. I say
Hit me on
Pinterest at the end.
LinkedIn, Stephen Campbell.
Really? You
Endorse
use
me.
LinkedIn?
Endorse me for public speaking. I guess I don't know.
Website?
Ustreat, USTREAT.com.
Gotcha. Dope. Okay.
I'm Riley Auville. You can Venmo me at Riley_Helena. I really need it.
Nice. Nice.
And I actually do have a website called Women Aren't Funny, and yeah, I just like write reviews about like
man.
comedian stuff.
That's dope.
Thanks, my dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna give you my Instagram because it's personal and you don't want to see my dogs and I don't want to get trolled. So
Fuck. I
yeah.
gotta change my Instagram.
I read this and I was like,
Yeah.
ah.
Shit, they're coming for you.
They're really coming for me.
Website, Women Are Funny. Go, Joan.
JoanReinmuth.com. I'm teaching a class this summer in writing contemporary satire, and I'm part of the 10 Penny Coney Island Babies.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
Nice.
Joe Patrick Marshall. Joe Patrick 19 is my Instagram. Joe Patrick Marshall on Facebook. No website, but you can find me at the homeless shelter on FUC.
Yeah. Shelter.
he's performing there next week.
Yeah, give it up for them one more time. Real quick, there's another episode of Keep It Mike. You can find it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, JimPeoples.com. podcast. We're every day at Idle Shrunken Head. Thank you for letting us be here. Every day at 2:15. If you're coming from out of town, just DM me. You can jump on the podcast. You get to go on the mic early, get a free extra minute, and some other shit, I guess. But the mic is every day at 3 o'clock, Monday to Friday. I said 3 o'clock, right? Right here. Give it up for them one more time.
Good job.